Okay, so for 2x plus 3y minus 3x minus 8y plus 2x, you imagine that the minuses are adding negatives, and now you can regard them as completely separate. So I'm going to look at the x terms. So 2x plus negative 3x is negative 1x. Negative 1x plus 2x is 1x. 3y plus negative 8y, so 3 plus negative 8 is negative 5. So it's plus negative 5y, and that can be simplified to x minus 5y. So that's question 1. Question 2, simplify 3x times 2x to the power of 4. You imagine that there's a 1 there. Do 3 times 2, that's 6, and add the powers on these. So your answer is 6x to the power of 5. Question 3, we have to find x, y to the power of 4 if x equals a half and y equals negative 3. Well, just write the letters being replaced by those numbers. So I told you x was a half, and I told you y was negative 3. Now I'm going to put the negative 3 in brackets so it's clear that it's the dash as well as the 3 that's being repeated. And now I'm going to just write what this is. So it's half times negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3. So that's a 9, so it's half times 9 times 9. So that's half times 81, which is 40 and a half. You can just treat that as 1 times 81, 2 times 1. So it's 81 over 2. 81 divided by 2 is 40 and a half. Question 4. Okay, negative 2x times 3x minus 4. So I'm going to do this times this and then this times this. I'm going to do the positives and the negatives separately. So when I'm doing this times this, it's a negative times positive, so it'll be a negative. And when I'm doing this times this, it'll be positive times negative times negative, which is a positive. And now just do this times this. Now I'm not sure what that is, so I'm just going to write them next to each other. That times that is this times this. Now I'm going to write 2x next to a 4. And now simplify. 2 times 3 is 6, x times x is x squared. 2 times 4 is 8, and there's an x to be copied down there. Okay, question 5. I'm going to treat this as 2 questions in one. So first is to pretend that there's a hidden 1 there. And then second, to change this minus to the addition of a negative. Now it's 2 questions in one, this question and this question. So I'm going to do those, and then combine the answers. So 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 2 is 6, a positive times a negative is a negative. There's the plus, just copy down. Negative 1 times x is a negative times a positive, so that's a negative. 1 times x is just x. Negative 1 times 1 is just negative 1. So 3x plus negative x, treat that as negative 1x. 3x plus negative 1x is 2x. Negative 6, take away another 1, you're even further down low, you're negative 7. Question 6. Okay, I'm going to do FOIL. Left eyebrow. This times this. What is that? I don't know, so I'm just going to write them next to each other. That times that. That I do know, that's 33. That times that is 33x. Finally, the mouth. That times that is 15x. Now simplify. That's 3 times 5, which is 15. X times x is x squared. Now what about this? 33x plus 15x is 48x. So that's the answer to question 6. Factorize 8x plus 12. Try and find a common factor. There's a 4 hiding in there and a 4 hiding in there. Whatever you see hiding in both, the common factor you write once. And now write what it used to be with. The reason why we see an 8 is because it's hiding with a 2. 4 times 2 is 8. So there's the 2 and the x. And the 4 is hiding with a 3 there, that's why it's 12. So therefore we write a 3 in the brackets. So 4 times 2x would be 8x, 4 times 3 would be 12. That was question 7. Question 8. 11x cubed minus 10x squared. So I see x business hiding there. Whatever you see twice, write once. That times that is that. That times that is that. How did I choose these? I'm just experimental. Basically, you write whatever you see once. Whatever you see twice, write it once. Open up a bracket, write what it used to be with. But there's still a common factor there. So that's copied down. Here's a new common factor. And so the answer is x squared 11x minus 10. Question number 9. Factorize this. So I see a common factor of 2's. I see a common factor of x's. I see a common factor of y's. So what's x with here? Well, that's xxx, so it's with xx, which is x squared. What's y with here? That's yy, so this y is with another y. What's the 2 with here? It must be with a 2, that's why it appears as a 4. And the xy's are already out here. What's the 2 with here? It must be with 3. To explain why we see a 6. There's the x. There's the y. What's that with? That's with y cubed. And there's a random w there. So that's the answer to number 9. Question number 10. So 3x minus 1 equals negative 2. Add 1 to both sides. Divide both sides by 3. X equals negative a third. That's part A. Part B. 4 over x minus 2 equals 0 times both sides by x. So you times a fraction by its own denominator, the denominator just disappears. Negative 2 times x is 2x. 0 times x is just 0. Take away 4. 4 take away 4 is 0. 0 take away 4 is negative 4. Don't need to write the 0. Now divide both sides by negative 2. Negative divided by negative is positive. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Negative divided by negative is positive. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So the answer is 2. Part C. Got two options here. One is to divide both sides by 10. So that divided by that is a 1. That divided by that is a 7. Timesing by 1 doesn't make any difference. Add 3 to both sides. Alternatively, you can expand the bracket straight away. That's not a red dude. This times this is 20x. This times this is 30. Add 30 to both sides. Divide both sides by 20. X equals 5. And finally D. 10 minus 5x minus 25. Take away 10. Divide both sides by negative 5. That turns that into a 1x, that into a negative 3. Because you're dividing both sides by a negative, you switch the direction of the inequality. Now, same questions again, alternative version. X minus 3y plus 7x minus 18y. 1x plus 7x is 8x. Negative 3y minus 18y is negative 21y, so that's that. Question 2, 2x to the power of 5 times 3x times 1x squared. Pretend there's a 1 there, add the powers. 5 plus 1 plus 3 is 8. 2 times 3 is 6. That's the answer. Question number 3. So it's that, but the x becomes a negative 2 and the y becomes a negative 5. There are the snug brackets to make it clear that the dash is being repeated, not just the 5. Negative 5 times negative 5 is 25. Negative 2 take away another 25 and you're down at negative 27. Question number 4. 10x squared, negative 2x plus 1. Negative times a negative is a positive. That times that, don't know what it is, just write them next to each other for the moment. Negative times a positive is a negative. That times that is just itself, because that's what timesing by 1 does. Now tidy up. Add the powers, x cubed. 10 times 2 is 20. So that's your answer. Question number 5. Okay, pretend there's a 1 there. Change that minusing to the addition of a negative. That times that is negative 2x. That times that is negative 8. There's the plus copied down. Negative 1 times x is negative 1x. Negative times negative is positive. 1 times 2 is 2. Negative 2 plus negative 1 is negative 3. Negative 8, you add 2, you come up to negative 6. Here's a 4 question. That times that. That times that. That times that. That times that. Just tidy up this. That's 3x squared plus 4 plus 7x. So that was question 6. Question 7. Factorize this. Common factor of 2 hiding in there and there. So whatever you see twice, write it once. Open up a bracket, write what it used to be with. Used to be with a 6, that's why it's a 12. Used to be with a 5x, that's why it's 10. So that one's done. Question 8. What do I see twice? A hidden 2 there and also an x. So whatever you see twice, write it once. Open up a bracket, write what it used to be with. Just check that it works. It's 2x times x, 12x squared? No, it's not. It's 2x squared. Put a 6 in there as well. 2x times 5y, is that 10xy? Yes, it is. That one's good to go. Question 9. 2 minus x equals 1. Oh, sorry. Question 9 is factorize this. So what do I see twice? A 3. Write it once. Open up a bracket. Write what it used to be with. Just check. Is that times that? Yeah, that. Yes, it is. Is that times that? That. Yes, it is. Oh, wait on. I need to see an x there. Is that times that? This. Yes, it is. So that's the answer. Question 10. 2 minus x equals 1. Take away 2. That gets deleted. 1 take away negative 2 is negative 1. Times by negative 1. Get x equals 1. So that was part A. Part B. 2 options here. One is to take away 1. Now double both sides. I'm going to take away 1, so x equals 9. Alternative, double everything now. Doubling this fraction just deletes the denominator in the fraction line. Doubling 1 gives 2. Doubling 6 gives 12. Collect like terms. It's not a red dude. Wait on. Then take away 3, you get x equals 9. Alright, C, negative 3, x minus 1 equals negative 12. 2 options here. One is to expand the bracket. That times that is negative 3. That times that is positive 3. And that's not a red dude, so just copy down this. Take away 3 from both sides. That disappears. This gets even lower. Divide both sides by negative 3. That divided by that will be a 1. That divided by that is 5, because negative divided by negative is a positive, so therefore x equals 5. Alternatively, just divide both sides by negative 3 straight away. That will therefore become a 1. That divided by that is 4, because negative divided by negative is positive. Timesing by 1 doesn't make any difference. Add 1 to both sides, and you get x equals 5. Part D. 2x minus 1 is greater than or equal to negative 5. Add 1 to both sides. Now, that's negative, but the point is that we do not switch to the inequality direction, because that is not dividing by a negative, it's dividing both sides by a positive. So That's your answer there.